So we are heading into the final race, the third one. Let's see if we can just repeat what we've been doing so far. So we are revving up at the start. Bit of a weirdie to the fans for sticking around for this third and final race in the evening. As we got the sun glaring on our windscreen again. But probably only for the first couple, that's it, before we get mucked up. So I wouldn't have felt us too bad. I expected it to be a bit worse in the first couple of races. As we go flat out through the right hand, even with the bumps. Just about holding on. Almost forgot to lift for the left. Definitely got to lift for the right. They take a very wide line through the corner. Could carry more speed through there if we weren't so wide on entry. And you definitely take this right hander flat out though. Let's take this left flat out, then slightly through the right. Just blend off the throttle slightly. Save for this right hand, a bit of a lift. Min speed 133 miles per hour though through there, and sit gear. Discovering new things all the time at the beginning of this final race. As you break into the right hander in fourth. Oh, the rear starting losing it slightly when we turned in at around 100 miles per hour. So min speed around 95 miles per hour through that right hander as go through this right and had a heavy braking zone. Take it in fourth, can we? Not really. We're a bit out the groove as well. Kind of battling the rear slightly under braking over those bumps. Despite knowing this circuit like the back of our hand now, after a couple of races round here, we're still pushing the limits here. In this final race, I've seen where we can lift, how much we can lift, the best lines as well. Just exploring on this opening that. Then we'll calm down a bit, I expect. So there you go, min speed 137 miles per hour through that section. As we break into the hairpin. Oh, locked up the front on the bumps. So got it down to first, but wide. And maybe you don't need to be taking a tight line through the hairpin. Maybe you just need to go and take an late apex. We can try that next to that. There you go, flat out through the left hander. Why are we lifting all this time? Flat out through the right, just as normal. We definitely have to lift through this next left though. Just lifting a bit in the corner though. We can set up this right hander being flat. And then brake into this right. Kind of easing the bike in on this first lap. I'm going to chase in the front. As you saw, we kind of leaning a bit early. So they're leaning again. And then we definitely got to lift through this right. For the bumps. We're going into the left down to fifth. That was not a good line, very wide. Could maybe get it down to fourth. It's all losing the rear through the right hand. And normally that's flat out, isn't it? On this occasion. Yes, that's heavy braking into that right hander down the second gear. We know how to take that corner and flat out through the final. So learning things all the time on that opening of that. Just 4 more to go here in Northern Ireland. There's a lift quite a lot over those bumps at the beginning. And if you don't, well, you'll be flying to no man's land. You don't want to be in no man's land. Go full pelt over the right hand, a slight lift on the front. As you bend the throttle out through the left, and then the lift through the right. Try and get that throttle back in, min speed around 144 miles per hour that occasion. Just a bit quicker this lap at the beginning. So we lift through the left. Can we take the right flat out then? Oh, easy. Even though we were a bit wide in the left. And then through the right, losing the rear, but we somehow hold it. Pre-patch, I'm sure we would have crashed there, but again, progressively losing that grip at the rear now. Much better. So go for the right hander. Hits up the throttle nice and early. So maybe you don't have to be so tentative on the brakes going in. That's interesting. And if we brake a bit earlier, we can get on the power a bit earlier. Again, we'll explore that on the next few laps of this race. We take that right hander in third. Again, the camber helping us get into the apex on that occasion. So got all these hot air balloons in the sky. What are they all doing up there? Well, it's a pretty good view actually for the racing around this circuit. Just in the built-up sections, you might not get the best view. For the most part, especially in the countryside, you have a pretty nice view of all the bikes riding around. We go min speed 137 again, and I'm sure we can get over 140 through that left-hander. So we go late apex. And even with the bump, seems to actually work. We just need to carry more speed through the corner. And a bit tentative there on the power. So at least that's something else we have learned. We go through the left, through the right. Easy for that. Surprised how easy that is. I think we've tried for out through this left-hander, but it just compromises the right after. And the right's a bit more important as it leads into the braking. For this tight right. It's a bit late on the apex. But yeah, this is the best view for the hot air balloons then. As you go down the country roads here, past the houses, past the decent crowd still. As we definitely have to lift before the bumps there through the right. If you lift early enough, you don't really feel them like I did there. So once again, rear trying to lose itself through that right-hander. Oh, let's go a bit wide in the slow right-hander. Being very aggressive. The opening half of this final race. Now it's perhaps time to calm it down as I think we explored all this circuit we can. We know where we can be a bit faster, be a bit better. Most of it. We go min speed around 145 miles per hour over those bumps. We know we can take that out and where it compromises if we do. Now we can adjust for that. There's all a bit more lift over that right-hander. Might have to lift on the next couple of laps then. As tyre wear starts to come into play. But yeah, I really am enjoying this circuit, really creating ourselves with it. With the Supersport bike. Such a blast. Just punctuated by a couple of slow corners. Oh, that's better through the right again. The rear trying to loosen itself there, having its own party. So here we go, brake early, try and carry the speed through the corner, picked up the throttle very early though, just past the apex, picking up that throttle. Sure we can go faster through there though. Again, just want to make it to the finish now. So you've got loads of time in hand on everyone else. That's why we could push a bit on those first couple of laps, see where we can really extract some speed around this course. Hopefully, I mean the maintenance bills go through the roof. I expect them to do after we visited the TT for the full lap, but it wasn't too bad actually. So we'll see if it's the same round here after the event. So once again, min speed of around 137 miles per hour. There we go, let's try and carry some speed through the apex. So, that bump though unsettled the rear. So halfway through this final race. So even though we're not hitting that apex, you still have that massive bump in the middle of the corner. Just unsettling the bike. Go through the left and the right. You can see we're starting to get the muck on the windscreen now, so the glare's not really affecting us either from the sun. And we go through the left, through the right, slight lift, because we're a bit close to the pavement. Use all the engine, we get it down to second gear. Once again, we're close to the pavement, so really slowed it down this occasion. It's not a good lap at all. So I won't be surprised this is actually the slowest out of the three races. We've been very aggressive, been a bit all over the place so far. In this first couple of laps, especially on this third lap as well. Couple of errors. Let's see this through the right. That's nicely into final proper braking. So to get actually down to first, do a bit of a wheelie as well for the trees. Now they've hung around as well to the end. So we'll give them a bit of a show as we go on to the penultimate lap. With a major lift. I get a feeling that's going to be the last couple. That's just lifting everywhere. Even through this right-hander now. Just blending slightly off the throttle, but as you can see that did work. Again through the left. And then through the right you actually have to lift. And then get hard on the throttle as early as you can. That's actually better than our previous couple of attempts through there. Into around 140 miles per hour on that occasion. Go through the left and right lifts everywhere, especially into this right-hander. Min speed around 116, definitely have slowed it down a bit on this penultimate lap, but it's been an interesting event though, this TT Festival. You're cool to participate in on a Supersport bike. Might be the last festival we take part in, apart from of course Isle of Man TT Festival. As we're already starting to think of the calendar for next year, which should be the second season, officially. They were thinking of maybe doing not every event. I think we're just doing it this year because we're doing the Supersport and Superbike events, just trying to learn some tracks on the Superbike. I think we've done almost all the events on the Supersport bike now. Just a couple of those short circuits we haven't done. I mean, they've been done on the Superbike, so it should be easy to adapt for the Supersport bike then. Let's get our braking down to first. Even wider line, still the bumps there. Almost pushed us into the barrier. So no matter how late we want to take that apex, how wide we go, there's always going to be that bump through that corner. But yeah, we might get it down to like one event per month next season. Or two events. Maybe like one Supersport, one Superbike event. That's what I was thinking. So it's going to cut the events down by half at least. But I can't wait to take on the Isle of Man though. Those events. On board the Supersport, Superbike, and soon the sidecars as well. Coming within the next month. Be very interested to see how good the sidecars are. Seems like very difficult discipline to get right. Like to animate that co-rider, you know, going all over the place. You just see how Kiloton do as we go on to the final lap. Here we scraped a bit of the fence as well through that slow right on the exit. So we don't mind that, as long as we survived, as we've got quite a lot of muck on our windscreen in this race. Pretty surprised by that. But I had a few close calls through this final race, so perhaps no surprise really. So lift through that right hand, and now we're lifting everyone this final lap. Just making sure we get it, make it through. And even lifting, we're going what, 160 miles per hour? Apart from through this right-hander, 122. Oh yeah, wonderful circuit this. That's some good fun here. It's kind of been Antrim week, hasn't it? Normal Universe resume no next week though. But you might see this with all the festivals such as the TT. You know, we're going to made aim to, it'll be 2 races, or 3 races. The sidecars are in by the time we're taking part in it. And those are the kind of events you want to take. You want to take high prestige events, not no half star, 1 or 2 star. Unfortunately, you don't see that until you see the calendar afterwards. But this event's a 3-star. And I think that's what we're going to be aiming for every month, to do at least a 3-star one. It's all very wide in the left. Surprised we survived that. Get down to first, over the bumps. But there seems to be much better on acceleration. We take the late apex there. So dilly-dallying like we were through that apex there through the corner. See lift through the left-hander. And flat out through the right. Such an easy flat out corner as well. So wide. But you've got to watch out for that pavement sticking out on the inside. Particularly in this section as well. Through this right. And then braking at the tight right. So that pavement sticking out. Got on quite a few on every circuit really. A couple of corners where the pavement just sticks out. You've got to be very careful. Where you say, oh, maybe it's easy flat, and then you see that, and you're like, oh god, so I've got to lift slightly. Make sure I avoid it. Let's go for the left. Do we dare take the right flat out? Not in this final lap. A lot of the issues we've been having with the rear through there. And brake cautiously. Into the tight right, and then through the flat out corner, and we have completed this HMTT Festival, I believe. I believe it's 3 races. Nice evening sun shining down on everyone. And let's see our time. Let's see how good this was. Oh, we won by over 2 minutes. Faster than 3:14.8. What the hell happened? Who suddenly sped up by 10 seconds? So I hope you enjoyed our time at the Antrim Speed Track TT Festival, which we won by an absolute country mile. Could have fitted in another couple of laps in the time that we had on the field. Has maintenance not that bad, only lost 3,000, got a reward of 20,000, so up to 42,500. As we've got a few more races on offer now for October. So we've got the EBR Invitational for the Superbikes. And then we've got a choice between the Old Blair Forest Race Endurance and the Honda Invitational. Why would I ever choose the Invitational? And then we've got the Champions Ride. Considering your separate reputation, I'd like to present a new event. Do you have the skills to take first place? That is quite some first prize. No, so I'm not sure I've shown you. We've got a couple new bikes in our collection. As you can see, we have got a Yamaha now, alongside a Honda in the Supersport category. On the Superbike, we've got the EBR, which was on sale. And you can see Mark Miller, the old camo livery. As you can see, it's not as good as Honda would say, definitely on braking, but on handling it's decent, it's a bit better. Acceleration and braking are slightly worse. But for the Yamaha, as you can see, braking much better, acceleration not as good, and handling pretty even, as we've got the Derek McGee bike. We've got 42,000, so we can almost afford a BMW. We've got our EBR, we've got a Honda, a couple of Hondas. We could get a Kawasaki, Norton, I want a Norton, I want a Suter as well. That Suter's meant to have insane acceleration. And you've got the Triumph Daytona. And then, of course, we've owned that Yamaha. So, that's our new bikes. And next time out, we're heading to the Prodigy Hunt. Of course, the middle of the month event. But I hope you enjoyed our time on the Antrim Speed Track. So, out for watching. I'll see ya next time. Bit hairy.